Now, water and sewage firms in England have issued a public apology for not acting quickly enough on sewage spills. According to the Environment Agency, untreated sewage was pumped into England's rivers and seas more than 300,000 times last year, an average of 824 per day. Well, the industry body Water UK has today promised to spend £10 billion on what it claims will be the biggest modernisation of the sewers since the Victorian era. Well, joining me now is the chair of Water UK, the former Cabinet Minister, Ruth Kelly. Ruth Kelly, welcome to you. This has been known about for years. Why has it taken so long for the industry to apologise?
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me here today. It's good to be on. And let's take a step back. The first thing I'm here to do today is to say sorry. I've been very chastened by listening to the public, by hearing the views of people. We understand as a water industry how upset and angry people are about untreated sewage going into rivers and onto our beaches, and we are determined to put that right. So today we're announcing a tripling of the level of investment into tackling spills into rivers and onto beaches. And you're right to say, why has it taken us so long? We get it. We should have acted sooner. It's only in the last few years, in fact, that we've had the data to really see the extent of this problem, but we are absolutely determined now to put that right.
Is this new money, this £10 billion, or is this money that the industry would have had to have put up anyway, given that the government announced a storm overflows reduction scheme in August last year?
This is new money that goes on top of the £3 billion that's already been pledged to tackle this issue. This is money which, of course, will feed through to the government's overall target. We want to go as fast as we possibly can to try and reduce the number of spills, however. We think that £10 billion in a 5-year period is the maximum physical capacity of the sector to make these changes. So you're talking about hiring construction experts, you're talking about scientists, you're talking about engineers being employed to build huge, big sewage overflow tanks the size of Olympic swimming pools, thousands of these, underground across the country. So we don't think we can do it faster than this, but we're determined to make every effort we can to start putting this problem right.
And where's the money going to come from? Shareholders or customers?
Well, what we're doing is we're asking shareholders to put down a huge down payment, multi-billion-pound down payment, to start putting this problem right. It's the biggest transformation project in the water industry's history since the Victorian times. The way the system works is that over the lifetime of the asset, customers do pay that money back in modest increases in their bills. Over the last 10 years, I think it's important to remember that real water bills have fallen for the average customer, and our research shows us that customers on the whole are prepared to pay a little bit more to see this sort of investment undertaken.
But customers will be asking, why on earth should they be having to put their hand in their pocket when the water industry paid out £1.4 billion in dividends last year?
Well, I think as a sign of the seriousness with which the water companies are taking this issue, all water company CEOs have come together and they've said they're not going to pay a single penny, for instance, on bonuses out of customer funds this year. Half of them, the water and sewage companies across England and Wales, are waiving their bonus entirely. On dividends, I don't quite recognise the picture that you're painting. On dividends last year, 3 of the 10 water and sewage companies actually made a loss. And the average return across the sector was less than 4%. Now that's not that much more than you'd get if they just put it in the bank on deposit. So we do need to attract hundreds of billions of investment over the coming decades into the sector. We have to compete against other utility companies, the energy companies, the airports, the rail sector. We have to compete for this money. So it's right that a dividend ought to be paid. But as I say, the dividends have been at fairly low levels compared to other sectors.
Even after this investment, sewage spills may still be in the 100,000s. I mean, why is it ever acceptable for untreated sewage to enter waterways?
Yeah, I mean, it's right. It's a really horrible relic of the past to see untreated sewage go into the waterways. You never would have built a system from scratch today in that way. It's hard to understand why water from bathrooms and kitchens is mingled with fresh groundwater and rainwater and all treated together. You wouldn't design a system like that, but that is the system we've got, and it is going to take time to put that right. Now, even with billions of pounds of investment, if you look at the London sewer as an example, £4 billion just putting into the Thames water area to treat London's sewage, that doesn't eliminate leaks, spills completely, but they do become extremely limited, and you know the harm that is caused is completely eliminated. So we won't get to a situation where they all disappear, but we are going to make a dramatic impact on the harm caused by spills.
Presumably, this investment is not going to be equally spread across the country. I mean, somewhere like United Utilities in the northwest, I mean, their sewage spill level is about 4 or 5 times the rate of somewhere like Southern Water in the south of England.
Yeah, you're right. The infrastructure is different in different parts of the country. More work needs to be done in some areas than others. As a water sector, we're saying hold us to account for the investments that we make, and we want to do this in 2 ways. First, by publishing a detailed investment plan. There are 15,000 overspills in this country, overflows that lead to spills. We want to publish an investment plan which overflow spill by overflow spill says exactly what's going to happen, when the money is going to be invested, and what the result of that is going to be, so that people will be able to see that. Secondly, by this time next year, we're saying to people, you know, log on. We're going to have a single central data hub. You can log on. You can check for your locality, see exactly if any discharges have been made, what discharges have been made, and decide whether you want to go bathing at that time. So real accountability and transparency around the level of discharges across the country.
A parting thought from you, if you would, please. I mean, water privatisation has led to £160 billion worth of investment. As you said, water bills are far lower in the UK or in England and Wales than they are in countries where the state operates the water system. Why is it, do you think, so many people favour renationalisation?
Well, sometimes I think renationalisation is seen as free money, but obviously it's not. And I mean, I've sat in the Treasury as a Treasury Minister, and I've sat on the other side of the table as well, where people come to bid for investment. And I know how difficult it would be under a nationalised sector to really get the investment that's so desperately needed when you're competing against investment in hospitals and in schools. So it's not a free win scenario, as it were, being nationalised. That money has to come from somewhere. And what we're saying is that shareholders stand ready to invest hundreds of billions of pounds in the water sector to really improve it.
All right, Ruth Kelly, got to leave it there. Good to see you this morning. Thank you.